Hey everybody, and welcome to The Void, a show dedicated to filling the void between being an employee and becoming self-employed. Most people refer to starting your own company as taking the leap, as if they're blindly jumping off a cliff and into the unknown. This show is here to help you understand that it doesn't have to be that way. As always, if you like what you're hearing on the show, please do us a favor and help share The Void with somebody else who might be wanting to start their own company. We saw an opportunity to help others understand that self-employment is well within your reach, and just as our businesses have grown organically and by word of mouth, we want this show to grow the same way. So if you see somebody asking questions about starting their own service-based business, please do us a favor and send them a link to the show. I'm your host, Mitch Smedley, and with me as always is David Hilton.
I wasn't sure you were getting through your S's there. So, funny
story with that.
You haven't even been drinking. Well, I say that. Let's talk about your drink situation right now. I pull up to your house. All right. I pull up, right? You're sitting outside with your wife, right? Looks like a really nice day. You know, hey.
It's a damn good day.
Talking to his wife, get over there. Oh, man, look. Oh, Mitch having a couple beers. It's peach fucking beer. Yeah, we talked about this on the last show.
Edition.
Dude, it's already light beer. Like how much lighter does it need to be?
It's good.
I don't understand.
It's a whole lot better than a seltzer.
I don't understand.
Seltzers taste like you're drinking TV static while somebody screams a flavor from the other room.
I hate seltzers. And
they're bad.
You know what sucks? It's like when I run out of beer, I'll drink Janine's. Like she'll have them in there and I'll like choke one down. I'm like, this is fucking awful.
Dude, a seltzer is like 14 belches in a can.
I don't understand what the deal with the carbonation is.
I don't know.
That's why I like Guinness so much.
They're uncomfortable to drink.
It's like just not so much carbonation.
Yeah.
So I get here, I grab a couple beers, right? And I go through the house and I come back out and I can hear they're like not yelling, but like not whispering, but trying to whisper. So I just bust out there, of course, you know, like, hey, what's going on? Oh, this is Danielle. Mitch is trying to tell me how to do my fucking job. Oh, shit.
I am her boss.
Yeah. I told her. I mean, she wasn't happy about it.
No.
What happened? You want to talk about it?
No.
What do you mean no? Like
so it got resolved. She's handling it.
So they stopped talking. Mitch called some customer, and then she was, you know, I made her laugh a little bit, and then I got the fuck out of there because I could see that she was like so she's like, she has nice redhead syndrome, and then she has like real redhead syndrome. Like you could tell that's like resting bitch face. Like she's about to come out and stab you, and I was like, I should probably get out of here.
I've made it bad enough for Mitch. I'm gonna leave now.
I'm gonna leave now. Yeah. And I walked out. So no comment, huh?
No.
That's no fun.
Just typical work stuff.
The show's about business.
Yeah. It's not about business with your spouse, though.
So first off, it wasn't typical work stuff.
Oh, we do that every day.
It wasn't typical work stuff then. I mean, if it was, you talk about it.
Oh, maybe.
Sounds like. Do we need to take a time out? You can go down and get your nuts out of her purse, or
no? Gosh, no.
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 Oh, she's gonna hold on to those for a while.
She's down there doing the work right now. All right.
Oh, I feel better now.
Good.
I feel better that I smashed your nuts.
Out of the system.
Smashed your nuts a little bit. I wasn't sure what was going on. I still don't know.
What's on the docket for today?
I have no idea. I didn't write anything down.
You didn't write anything.
Hey, for anyone,
all that pre-show prep.
For anybody that watches the YouTube channel, which is like 7 people, look, there's my piece of paper. Everyone look it up. I wrote down fucking nothing.
7 people and my mom. Hi, Mom.
I've had a shit day, man. It's just been shit.
You're feisty.
I am feisty.
Yeah.
I swear to God, one of these days I'm just gonna snap necks. Like it's gonna happen. Hey.
What?
Okay, go ahead.
Today's topic. One topic only.
Only one topic?
Digital marketing versus word of mouth referrals. Now, this is one hell of a topic. It's going to take us the whole friggin' show to talk about.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Ugh.
Dude.
See, it must have had a seltzer beer.
No, I think it's that fucking peach girl beer.
So, before we dive into like what is digital marketing and what is word of mouth referrals, we need to kind of explain all of the things that kind of classify as digital marketing. And we need to, and then where we're going to take you with this is we're going to classify what is digital marketing. We're going to classify what is word of mouth referrals. And then we're going to classify like where you should be at in the progression of your business as your business starts to grow. So digital marketing is going to literally be anything that happens on a phone or on a computer or on the internet. So
Or a TV.
Or a TV, right? So your website is digital marketing. If you are paying somebody to optimize your website for search engine stuff, that's digital marketing expenses. Believe it or not, your social media is a form of digital marketing, but it can also flip over to word of mouth referrals. Your social media is kind of a hybrid. Your Google business page is also kind of a hybrid. It is a form of digital marketing depending on where you're spending your money. But if you keep it on the free side of things, then it is word of mouth referrals, and your Google business page is ultimately free. You've got Google Local Services, also known as Google LSA. That is digital marketing. You've got Google Ads. Google Ads are different than Google LSA, also digital marketing. You've got digital TV commercials. So those are going to be TV commercials that only play on retargeted sources or on streaming services. So your Roku's, your Plutos, your Netflixes, all of those streaming services. Even YouTube TV will have digital TV commercials.
Yeah, you know what's weird? So I shut my DirecTV off, like, I don't know, 2 months ago or whatever. But so I have a Samsung TV, and they have Samsung Plus. And it literally rolls through your internet, right? And there's like 130 channels on there. That's the same thing. You can direct digital market on that. So like when I'll watch Newsmax, right? And I'll be, they'll go to commercial or whatever, and then sometimes there's some national ads, and then there'll be like just specific things to Kansas City or Missouri in general, or I'm sure there are Lee Summit, but they don't say Lee Summit specific ads or Grain Valley specific ads. But that is starting to really take off as far as like where you can seriously focus your ads to a very small group of people in a very specific area because of that.
Yeah.
And like people...
Hey, if you like what you're hearing on The Void and you want even more info, we just started a mentorship program specifically for trades professionals to start their business or to get their business to an incredibly healthy position. So if you'd like more info, click on the link in the description of this show.
People don't even realize their smart TV even has like those just regular channels in there yet, but I feel like that's going to be a real... fast-growing market here very soon as people are starting to get rid of DirecTV and get rid of like basic cable and shit like that.
It's already there, right? So like if you have a product that only appeals to women and it only appeals to women between certain ages, well, you can use digital TV and laser target that product to that individual. Right? And if you sell nationally, you can target it to all the people in the nation. If you sell locally, you can laser target it to the exact zip code that person lives in.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know that it's not that people aren't taking full advantage of it because on Newsmax, if you were to watch, and I'm just using this as an example, if you're watching Newsmax on DirecTV, there's commercials the entire commercial break. If you're watching on a digital platform like I am right now, like there'll be 3 or 4 or 5 commercials and then nothing.
Yeah.
Because they're syncing up with the DirecTV deal, and they don't have any ads to fill that.
Yep.
I mean, so I know that right now it's cheap, and people are switching over. So if you don't have a lot of money, like that might be a way to go for you if you want to like get into some specific areas for cheap. The real problem is, what are their ratings right now? Not real great. So
the big thing if you're doing anything on
give
TV
and go right now
is you have to have a call to action. If you don't have a call to action, then you are going to be basically dumping a whole lot of money into branding, and branding doesn't have a consistent rate of return, right?
No, it doesn't.
Especially for a small business. Now, a big business...
That's why you do it first.
Right. For a big business, they have a lot of branding going on. You picture your Coca-Colas, your Pepsis, and all of that kind of stuff. Most of their commercials are branding, right? It's not like... hurry now this week, all products are 20% off. That's a call to action. Coca-Cola throws out a commercial and it's a couple of polar bears having fun on the ice drinking a Coke.
Yeah, it's branding.
That's all branding, right?
Yeah.
So as you get bigger, you get into more branding than anything else. Flipping over to word of mouth type marketing,
which is what we preach all the time.
All the time. So word of mouth marketing would be like physical, direct mouth, like vocal person to live voice to live ear word of mouth. You and I are having a discussion, and I say you should call my guy. Right?
Yeah. Well, you go to your
word
neighbor.
Of mouth referral.
You go to your neighbor and say, "Hey, I know that a month ago, Spencer was out and augured your drain. Like, who did he work for? Who was that?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's direct word of mouth.
Right.
So and whenever we talk about it all the time. Whenever you have direct word of mouth in a neighborhood, I mean, the amount of sales you get from that or percentage of sales sold from that is extremely high.
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, it's almost 100%.
Yep.
Because they trust their neighbor. That's why they asked their neighbor in the fucking first place.
Right.
Because they trust them.
Yep.
And then when they say, yeah, I had a great experience, they took care of me, it wasn't even that expensive, or it was expensive, but it was well worth it, you basically get the free sale if they call you.
Right. Right. And that's why word of mouth is so popular, is because people buy from people that they know and that they like and that they trust. Well, if you came to somebody through a word of mouth referral, they already trust you and they already like you because their friend liked you.
Yeah.
And they already know you because their friend knows you.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is polish up on those three aspects just a little bit, and it's the easiest sale in the world.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily like or know, it's trust.
Yeah.
When you're making a sale or you're making a big sale, what's the number one thing that's important? It's trust. If they don't trust you, they're not going to spend money with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like is right after that.
Right.
It's just like lots of people don't like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you got to just hold your nose and be like, well, yep, he's a pain in the ass, but he got some shit done.
Who had 12 minutes?
No one had 12 minutes.
Dave went political with inside of 12 minutes.
No, I didn't. I actually stole that from, what's the guy that hosts Family Feud? Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
He came out and he was like, look, no one likes him, but it's just like the pest control guy. You don't call the guy you like. You call the guy that can get the job done. He smells. He's got a bad attitude. He's missing 2 teeth. You don't like him. But you call him, you know why? Because he gets the job done, and you trust that he's going to get the job done. Right? Maybe I should have just used that example instead. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings today.
So
don't spill your peach beer. You'll be fine.
So other forms of word of mouth, you do have some digital word of mouth. Now with Facebook groups and all Nextdoor and all of those different kinds of avenues. You do have some digital word of mouth available too. Somebody might post in their neighborhood Facebook group or their community Facebook group, hey, I'm looking for a plumber. Who should I use? Right. And if you win the popular vote, chances are you're going to win the call. And so if you've won the neighborhood over because you've done exemplary service for everybody else, well, then you're going to be the most referred person there, and chances are you're going to win the referral. Right. So those are kind of hybrids, right? Another hybrid would be your Google business page. And the reason your Google business page is kind of a hybrid is because there's a whole lot you can do with your Google business page for free. You can upload photos on your Google business page for free. You can collect Google reviews for free. You can do all this stuff for free. And it basically is a digital extension of word of mouth referrals. Yeah, and anytime you can do something like that, and I'm going to use quotations for those listening, can do something for free. Obviously, you still have to put the time in, right? But you're not actually spending money out of your pocket. So that's like a really good use of funds because it only takes your time. Right. Right, but you still have to sit down and do the work and get it in, but it's not like you have to do the work and everything and then write a check. Yep. You're still working at it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, nothing's technically free. Yeah. Ultimately, the biggest difference between digital marketing and word of mouth referrals is going to be, are you buying customers or are you earning customers? Because when you buy customers, you can spend a lot of money and you can get customers faster when you buy them. However, you have to approach that customer in a whole different light.
Well,
Because they don't have the know, like, and trust factors already established. So you have to start from square one with them.
You're not buying customers, you're buying leads.
You're buying opportunities at customers.
Yes, you're
Right.
you're not necessarily, so for every dollar you spent, you're not getting a customer. You're
Right.
getting a lead.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's your job to turn that lead into a customer.
Right.
When it's word of mouth, you're getting a customer. It's just your job to make the sale.
Yeah.
Basically. Like you
still have to set the metrics for know, like, and trust. It's a lot easier to do, but the moment you skip the steps in your process that establish know, like, and trust, you can blow a word of mouth referral pretty quickly.
you can if you go in there guns a-blazing.
And then what happens is they don't use you, and then they call back to their person that referred,
And they're
and they're
pissed.
like, "I know you said to use him, but that guy turned me off.
Yeah.
You know, he was real short, and I didn't like his price, and he just basically gave me a bad attitude, right?
Yeah.
And that they just do that. That's
But if you get a word of mouth referral and you go in there just like the previous person where you got that referral from, your conversion rate is 95, 98% on a sale all the time.
It's great.
If you're buying those leads through advertising or whatever, especially if you're a smaller company, your conversion rate's substantially lower.
Right.
You know, I mean, what do you think yours is? What is it, 50%?
No, we
70%?
run right at
What is it?
70%.
So a 25% difference from 95 to 70.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
huge.
we
Conversion
run,
rate wise.
We run an ad, like, I don't track it word of mouth. I don't track it by referral base. I could. I guess I mean, I totally could. My software would break
Technically-
it down if I wanted to.
Technically, I'm calling you out because you do. You just don't keep up on it. Because I've seen the spreadsheet and I've seen the numbers there. You just don't update it as much as you. And let's be honest, you don't do that because you're not throwing money at it.
Well,
right? And you're trying to track the money more than you're trying to track the referrals because you know the referrals are turning over and you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah. So
You know what I mean?
We're tracking the net result, but you know, our process stays the same.
Right.
It should stay the same for how we approach a customer, no matter the lead source.
Well, and do the guys even know the
No.
lead source when they start? So no, the process is the same.
Yeah.
Like the only one that sees that is you after the fact.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's a moot point.
We have a couple of outliers.
Very
like,
moot point.
For instance, if somebody calls us because if they reference that they saw us on the Better Business Bureau website, I wish we could like run from those customers because the
Thumbs
Better
down.
Business Bureau used to be really handy, but now Google is king and the Better Business Bureau is actually kind of useless.
No, it's a way to throw away money.
Well, yeah, if you
I think
advertise on that site,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's dumb.
We don't advertise on it, but we're A+ rated, accredited. You know, we're top rating you can get on the Better Business Bureau.
Even people I know that are serious, and I'm not downplaying anyone here. Even people I know that are above 75, that like Better Business Bureau was like the thing. That's what you went by.
Yeah.
They know now that shit's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't.
They should.
They're just not. It's not a thing.
But here's
it's
the
just
one.
not a fucking thing.
Here's the
anymore.
thing. The people that are still hanging on to it, they are wildly concerned that they're going to get taken advantage of. And anybody that is wildly concerned that they're going to get taken advantage
they're
of is
skeptics
very
as
skittish.
shit. Yeah.
They've got cold feet. They don't want to trust all that they're seeing right in front of them. They don't want to trust the fact that we've got nearly 600 Google reviews and we're 5.0 rated on Google. They don't want to trust any of that. Like they're always looking for that. That I think that's a sham.
Yeah.
Well,
they're always doubting. They're always looking for something, and they're always not trusting from the get go.
Yeah.
And someone and a customer that is that way, or a person that's in that way in general, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
Because they're literally always looking for something. Half of those people will make something up. Oh well, the floor was just dirty when they left.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean,
and so a lot of that comes down to the difference in classes of customers that you're chasing. So we've all seen the GIF where it's like $400 client, and they're messaging you going, I just want to make sure you know that I don't spend this money without a great deal of caution, and this is a lot of money for me, and if this money is spent in the wrong direction, it can greatly impact my life and my children's life, and it would affect the legacy that I leave for the future and all of this, right?
If $400 is changing your legacy, you got work to do.
Right.
I mean, you got fucking work to do.
$50,000 client, money sent, thank you.
Yeah.
It's literally that simple. And I shit you not. We had a $50,000 sale last month.
Yes, I know. I've heard you say it 1,000 fucking times.
Well, now
27,000 times now.
I can actually speak with a level of truth to that GIF that everybody shares, right? A lot of people share that GIF, have never had a $50,000 client. They're sharing it because they think it sounds cool.
Yeah, of course they are.
Now that we have a $50,000 client, I shit you not, we give him the estimate. The estimate's $51,000. And he literally says, when can you start? And we say, we require 20% down, and we can start within 2 or 3 days after we receive your down payment. He literally shows up the next day, check in hand.
Yeah.
Boom, done.
Where's my water line, bitch?
Get the water line done. I shoot him a message. Hey, water line's done. And he's still 20% down. That leaves $40,000 left for him to pay, right?
Close, yes.
So it's not the easiest thing. And it's not like, hey, write me a check for $40,000. I'm not leaving your property until you do, right? So I shoot him a message.
Didn't even wave goodbye.
I shoot him a message and I say, hey, we're all wrapped up, so I'll get you an invoice over tonight that we can settle up on. He literally sends me a text the next day and say, I'll have a check at this, there's at their property, they have like a sports lodge.
Oh,
and
nice.
And there's a desk in that sports lodge. And he says, tomorrow morning, I'll put a check on the sports lodge desk for the remaining amount due.
Nice.
I mean, literally like money sent.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
No qualms about anything. I mean, it was literally just, he understood the value. He paid the price.
Yeah.
He made the selection. It was that easy.
And when we talk about customers that you want and customers that you're working to get, like those are the type of customers, right?
Right.
100%.
And when that guy calls with we did a substantial amount of work, and a lot of it is grading and dirt work. There's going to be some settling. We had some things that need to be at ground level, and so they're going to need some adjustment over and I flat told him, I'm like, I have no doubt that these are going to need to be adjusted over the next few months.
Call me.
Do not hesitate to call. I'll swing back by. We'll get them readjusted as things settle around and all of that stuff. He'll call, and I'm not going to roll my eyes. I'm not going to dread it. I'm not going to be like, oh, my gosh, here they go again. I'm going to be happy to go out there, right?
Yeah, because
he's an easy customer to work with.
Well, it's not just that he's an easy customer to work with, but because he and you both realize the value of each other. Mm-hmm. And a customer and what's the word I'm looking for? And service contractor relationship is a two-way street.
Right.
It is a 100% two-way street, especially when you're in bigger projects. When you're in a remodel, things are going to get messed up. Prices are going to change based on what you want after the fact or something's happened. It's a two-way street. When you show your customer a great amount of respect and a great amount of caring what the price is and sticking to the price that you've quoted, they should in turn show you the same respect, as in, hey, we ran into a super snag here. We're in trouble.
Right.
I want your opinion. What do you want to do here? It's a two-way street. And that is a customer that understands that and is like, okay, he said this was the price. He did the work. He started when he said. I wrote him the check. When I call him, he's going to come back out.
Right.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And if people have really, I feel like, kind of forgotten some of that stuff, these days. Of course it's easy to do. That doesn't mean it's right.
The guy who put the permanent Christmas lights on my house, he
nerd.
I ain't climbing on my roof anymore, so
I've never put Christmas lights on my roof.
Yeah, Scrooge.
No, I'm not. That's not true.
So anyway,
Ouch.
I work out with that guy on Sundays.
Cut me deep.
And he was telling it. We were talking about this very same thing, and he was telling a story about how he'll pretty much do anything around his house except when it comes to HVAC, because there's just certain things that you just aren't comfortable with, right? There's tools and gauges and refrigeration and all that kind of stuff. Well, the furnace quit working, and so he draws the line at HVAC. So he calls somebody that was referred to him, and they come out on a Saturday after 5 and found a part that it needed. I think it needed like an exhaust blower or something like that. And
this was last winter then.
This would have been last winter.
Okay.
The total bill, like the guy was there, diagnosed it quickly, got him back up and running. He was only there for like 45 minutes, and the total bill came to like $600, right? And so he tells the guy,
that's not bad,
right? So he tells the guy, I'm going to go get you cash. And so he passes his wife on the way to wherever they keep their cash in their house, and he tells the wife, hey, that furnace guy said it was going to be $600, and she pauses and she's like, boy, that seems like an awful lot of money for 45 minutes. And keep in mind, he runs 2 small businesses himself, right? And he stopped and he was like, we're not doing this with this guy. This guy's out here on Saturday after 5 in a $70,000 truck with probably $20,000 in inventory. He knew what it took to get it fixed, had it on the truck, and he got us back up and running, so your ass can have heat tonight. And she was like,
preach, bitch.
Yeah. And then he's like, he's got the same insurance expenses that we do. He's got the same cost. He's got the same taxes. He's got the same everything that we do.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I guess I never thought about it like that. And this is this, and I'm not bagging on her or anything else.
I'm wanting to crush her right now.
Well, it's one of those moments where you realize that, holy cow, I'm that customer that I hate that called like, we've all been that place.
Yeah, and she knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been in that place where it's like, I don't know if it's worth it, but you don't know the mechanics of their business, right?
Right.
So until your sales guy shows up in like a exotic car, chances are their money's being spent pretty well.
Dude, a guy shows up at my house in a Ferrari to sell me like a pool or something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
Probably not.
I don't know what to tell you. Get out of here.
Now, do I fault the guy for having a Ferrari? Absolutely not. Just don't show up to a sales call in that.
Yeah, don't show up to sales calls of Ferraris. Yeah. Rule 1. Yeah. All right, people, stop it.
So
I see them all the time. It's the new Tesla is the thing.
We've deviated a long way from marketing.
No, we haven't. This is all marketing.
Well,
what else do you want to talk about? Give me something.
No, we're still talking about the differences between the two. So when you're freshly starting out with your company, you want to make for sure that you are dominating all forms of word-of-mouth referrals you can get. And here's where most people go wrong. Most people are like, well, I'm just not getting good word-of-mouth referrals. Are you asking?
Well, not only are you asking, are you giving good service?
Yeah. Step 1 is provide.
You cannot expect to get word-of-mouth referrals if your service sucks ass.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about price. Price can be up and down, down and up. But if your service isn't great and you're not taking care of customers, you're getting no word-of-mouth referrals.
Yep.
Rule number 1.
Yep.
2, just like Mitch was saying, if you're not asking, hey, if you know any... This is as simple as it is. If you're a one-man shop, this is as simple as it is. Hey, if you know anyone that needs any work, I don't advertise. I would really appreciate it if you would just give them my business card or my phone number. I'm gonna give you 3 or 4 if that's okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much for calling me and letting me service your equipment today. It's literally, that is the most simple, easiest saying that you can tell a customer is that right there. And then give 3 or 4 business cards, and then if you gave them good service and they're happy with the price, see what happens. Yep. I mean, it's unbelievably stupid and simple, and the only way to start your company when you're real small.
It's so stupid it works.
It's not so stupid it works. It's so stupid because people, that's the kind That's the kind of service that people want.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't even know that that's what they want until you come in there and treat them with respect, dignity, give them a good price, take care of them because they've been getting screwed by so many other service companies.
Right.
And all of a sudden they realize, oh, this is what a service company should be.
Right. Right.
And they recognize it.
Well,
and they help you out.
One key line with 2 key points in it is you just let them know the highest honor you could pay is your referral. Right. The best thank you could give me is your referral. You say one of those 2 things as you're closing up with that customer, and you're golden.
You're getting 5 referrals. You might get 1 or 2 calls.
Yeah.
You know, she or he is gonna say to someone, "Oh yeah, I had so and so out," because I mean it's a little different now. But in a small community, I shouldn't say small community, on one street, if there's 10 or 12 houses, a person talks to and knows and likes at least half of those people.
Yeah.
And that's 6 houses if there's 12 on the street.
Well, and that's physical mouth to physical ear referrals.
Yeah.
Right? But now in the digital day and age, it goes way beyond that and so much faster.
And Facebook, I mean, especially when we have small community groups like the Blue Spring community page.
Well, you say small.
I see you all the time. It's not that small.
Yeah, there's 60,000 people in that group.
Well, Blue Springs is small compared to a lot of big cities.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying is like your community groups, there's a lot of eyes in there, right?
Yeah.
And so just like anything, if you do well, they're going to hear about it. If you do poorly, they're going to hear about that too.
What do we talk about on the show all the time? If you do well, people are going to hear about it. If you do poorly, they're going to hear about it times 5.
Yeah.
So you have to start out with providing great service and great communication and good price and good work and all that.
Right.
But if you piss somebody off or you're not giving great service, it's going to hurt you more than if you give good service, then it's going to help you.
Right. Right. So obviously your word of mouth referrals are huge. The next thing that you need to be doing is getting a ton of Google reviews. And we're not going to dive a whole lot into Google reviews. If you want to hear my playbook for exactly how we've gotten to nearly 600 Google reviews and a 5.0 rating, go listen to episode 36 of this show. I explain everything exactly how we get all the Google reviews.
If you want to know even more in depth, then sign up for Tradewinds, and
we'll walk you through it.
And we'll literally tell you, hey, click on your computer.
Yeah.
This is how you get there.
We'll literally walk
this
you
is how
through
you're
how
gonna
to do it.
And then when you have one-on-one business calls, we hold your hand like this, and we say, this is how you get there.
Yep.
So
some people need that.
Shameless plug.
And we're happy to do it, right?
Shameless plug.
So, but yeah, you go listen to episode 36, and it's the whole playbook for how to get a ton of Google reviews.
Yeah.
But again, the same thing goes with those, is you have to ask. We talk about in episode 36, we go through the whole gamut of my journey through learning everything about Google reviews. And I've been on the other side going, well, people just don't leave them. Well, it's because you're not asking. Okay, then you start asking, and people still don't leave them. It's because they don't know how. And so, again, in the episode 36, we go over all of that, and we show you how to get customers to get one-click access to a Google review for you. And from that point on, Google reviews are on fire.
Yeah, and just real quick, it's send a digital invoice, have a link for a Google review.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, it's that simple.
There's a lot more to it than that, especially if you want to maintain the 5.0 rating. Because when you give people one-click access to leave a Google review, you're also giving customers that may have not had the best experience with you one-click access to leave a Google review. And so we talk about in that episode how to kind of filter those customers out a little bit so that you can make sure that your Google review count stays strong, and also so you can make sure that you become aware of customers that you may have underserved, so that you can follow back up with them and make it right. And then, if that happens too often, you can adjust your process so you're not underserving customers in the future.
Is that 36?
Episode 36.
Okay.
Yep.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay.
I just sent a couple of links out literally today to people that were like, how do you get so many Google reviews?
Man, it seems like
Just
that
listen
was
to this.
just yesterday we did that.
Seems like it was recent.
And what are we at today?
Today is 97.
97.
Knocking on the door of 100.
Oh, man. So if anyone wants to send gifts to us for episode 100, that would be great.
Yeah, 100 cervezas.
I think too.
And if they sell Busch Light Peach where you're at, we'll settle for 3 cases.
If you send Busch Light Peach to our
Address
address,
it to David.
I will throw it away.
I think if you connect with the customer, you start to kind of buy yourself. Not that you're prone to making mistakes, but like say if you're carrying something, you drop on the brakes. But if you've already had that connection with the customer and they know and they're liking to trust you, and you come to them and you're honest, you kind of start to buy yourself versus the employee that's like they're really good but they just don't connect with the customer.
Yeah. Well, you've been in the home with me when I broke that glass tabletop for that lady.
Whoa,
And-
whoa, 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 whoa! What
We talked about it before.
We talked. Well, we got a YouTube short on it, but
did we?
yeah, I went to go move. Like we had to. I had to
it
move
was in
some
the basement.
Yeah, I had to move some stuff,
Okay,
and so I
yeah,
went
yeah.
to go move this piece of glass, and I didn't drop it or anything. Like
You
Like-
grabbed it and it broke.
it must have had. There must have had like a piece of sand on the basement, the concrete basement floor or something.
Yeah.
Because I literally set it down so gently, and the moment it touched the ground, it split into 2 pieces.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking like you broke a coffee table, but now I remember.
no.
Yeah, I remember.
You were
You were-
thinking I threw Austin through a coffee table and
No, I
Hulk
was-
smash.
He threw me through a coffee table.
Hulk smash. No, I was thinking maybe you just broke something and I never heard about it.
Yeah,
But
Austin
yeah,
got me back with a suplex. It was a whole thing.
Well, I mean, you kind of.
I don't see that happening.
I think you'll do yourself a disservice if you show up in a wash van, you have all the stock you need, you show up, you do the work, you're really good, you're proficient, and you don't connect with the customer. You're taking all the money you've invested
Right.
in every single thing, and then it's just like,
Yeah,
Yep.
why was I wearing the nice shirt? Why
Yeah.
was I wearing the embroidered uniform? Why was I wearing footies? Why was I driving around in a truck with graphics all over it?
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
provide the service and the after service, it's almost all for naught.
Those things aren't a false front that buys you time. Those things are to help guarantee the
Yes.
relationship that you build with the customer.
Yes.
So, all of those things kind of stem off of word of mouth referrals. And the last one for like digital word of mouth would be like the Nextdoor app.
Yeah.
And maybe Thumbtack, although I think Thumbtack may have a charge. I'm not sure. I don't do a lot on Thumbtack.
You know what? I don't even hear a lot about it, so I think they must because
Yeah.
there's free ones out there that are a lot
and
better
in some
or the
parts,
same.
in some parts of the nation, Yelp is another one. Yelp is not very big in the Midwest, but we talk to people from all around the
Yeah.
nation and trade winds, and Yelp is really big in the coastal areas.
Yeah, it is.
And so you got to do with what works, right? Here, Yelp is viewed as a place that people go to bitch about companies. And so you're never going to see me align myself with Yelp because I don't want to be on a platform where people just go to bitch about companies.
Yeah.
Right? So it just kind of depends on where you're at. But, okay, so that covers a lot of the word of mouth stuff. And those are all the things that you need to be doing as a new business owner. Eventually, you'll need to be doing some sort of digital marketing at some level.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
When you're doing like, and I kind of know the answer here, you can get, what is the number you can get to on only word of mouth advertising
So
as a small business? And I know, I know what my answer is, but you can do very well on just word of mouth.
Yeah, we got to $1 million in revenue a year without spending more than $1,000 a month on digital marketing.
Yeah. And a lot of guys will use, so we talked about earlier Facebook being a kind of a hybrid between word of mouth and digital marketing, right?
Right.
Like it's technically it's digital, but it's people will post on there by actual experiences that they've had.
Yeah, so
Right.
the big key difference between digital marketing and word of mouth referrals is word of mouth is 100% absolutely free. Digital marketing you are paying for, right?
Yes.
So you take a platform like Facebook. There are free ways to handle Facebook, but there are also paid ways to handle Facebook. And so you can either treat Facebook like a free word of mouth setup,
Right.
or you can also start paying on Facebook.
Yeah, for
Whether you're-
sponsored ads.
Yeah, whether you're doing sponsored ad, boosted posts, whether you're creating specific ads just for Facebook or anything else, you can do all of that.
And
So
it is a very economical way to do it without like breaking the bank.
yeah,
And extending your reach. I think for a lot of guys that are just starting out and they're like, hey, I want to expand a little bit without getting too big. Like, I feel like a lot of times people are scared, hey, if I get a commercial out and I'm a one-man shop, am I going to be able to handle the volume of calls that comes in?
Right.
Like Facebook is a good intermediate that I'll spend a little bit of money, get some more calls, get my feet wet, and be able to kind of, quote unquote, dabble in some commercial
Let me drop you some game here.
advertisement.
If you're new into the marketing thing.
Did you just say drop some game here?
Yeah. If you're new into the marketing thing and you've got your business page and you're wondering, should I start boosting posts on Facebook and everything else? So go back through your last few months, maybe not even few months. You want to go through maybe the last 8 weeks of your business Facebook posts. Find one that performed better than any other post out there, naturally, organically. Okay? Boost that post.
Yeah.
Because that's one that people gravitated towards without you spending a dime. And so if your inner circle gravitated towards that one without you spending a dime, your outer circle is for sure going to gravitate towards that one. So another thing with Facebook is not dumb. Facebook is not out to take your money and run. Facebook's very smart. Facebook wants you to see results with your ad. So a lot of times whenever I do Facebook ads, I do them as they'll ask you what's the goal with this ad, and I tell them it's to get messages into the business, right? So
yeah,
Facebook is going to change their algorithms based off of how the goals you set it. Facebook will learn who is the best customer for this for you. You can give it some parameters. You can give it some zip codes. You can give it some radiuses. You can tell it, age ranges and sexes, male or female or whatever. You can give it some parameters. Set your budget low. Set it at $5 a day at first. And then as you start getting some results, slowly increase your budget. And what's going to happen is at $5 a day, Facebook is still learning who responds best to this ad. And then after a month at $5 a day, now you can double it to $10 a day. And Facebook now has a lot better grasp of who responds to this ad. So your $10 goes a whole lot farther than it did a month ago.
Yeah, if you were to start at $100 a day, it's still learning.
It's still learning.
So you're kind of pissing money away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you've got to get the algorithm started, and it takes a little bit of money to do that. So like Mitch was saying, at $5 a day, it's a pretty cheap to get that information figured out and know where everything's going. And then, the next month 10, and then maybe the next month 20 if it's working for you.
Right.
A day. And then now you're so busy, you're like, oh shit, what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of keeps relative.
That's right.
So the other thing that you want to keep in mind is a lot of people are like, at what point do I need to consider starting to spend money in marketing? It changes for every company. In the HVAC space, you're going to be somewhere between 3 to 5% of your monthly income or your annual income needs to get spent back on marketing.
Well, and that's because you're bringing in a lot more.
Yeah. In the HVAC
Gross.
space, you've got your ticket prices are inflated just because of the expensive equipment costs with furnaces and air conditioners and all of that stuff.
Yeah, your profit could be the same, but just to like say something here, if I'm making $5 million a year and or if I'm grossing $5 million a year and Mitch is grossing $2 million a year, Mitch is probably profiting more than I am at 5.
Maybe. It just kind of depends, but we're close, right?
Yeah, so because I'm spending so much more money on equipment, it costs me a lot more money to make the same amount of money.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
So those numbers are different.
Yep. So in the plumbing world, you need to be looking somewhere around like 5 to 8%, somewhere in there. So 3 to 5 in the HVAC world, 5 to 8 in the plumbing world. Those numbers can also vary a little bit. You could be 5 to 8 and 8 to 12. 5 to 8 in the HVAC and 8 to 12 in the plumbing.
Yeah,
you could be there.
Yeah, and it depends. Like if you're on the West Coast, obviously it's going to be different than if you're here in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's going to change a little bit. But as you start going from bringing in $10,000 a month in revenue to $20,000 a month in revenue to $50,000 a month in revenue or whatever the case may be, you need to be analyzing that. And so it's not a bad idea to start kind of setting that money aside. and if not physically, then figuratively setting it aside and anticipating, okay, eventually as I grow, 5% of my income needs to be going to marketing.
Yeah.
And so that way you're not shocked, because digital marketing is not cheap.
No, it's expensive as shit.
It is not cheap at all. So,
or unless you want to just pay Mitch, he'll come over and show you what to do.
yeah, because I have it all figured out. So,
No offense, buddy.
You've got your website, and you've got search engine optimization that you're doing through your website. Those can be pricey, right?
Yes, they can be.
You've got paid social media ads. I actually just hired an agency to, like, I run my own social media. I still control all my own social media. However, I did just hire an agency to run paid ads on my Facebook. And the reason why I hired them is because they have a whole lot of intel where they can actually retarget anybody who's ever visited my website. They can make sure that my social media ads end up in their view.
Is this who we talked about last week but didn't talk about it on the show?
I don't know. Maybe.
See, now I'm confused. Now I'm going to ask you questions.
And so I was formerly spending a lot of money on each month. I was spending $3,000 a month on digital TV or smart TV commercials. Those are useless, at least the way that we were doing them.
I didn't know we were going to get into you getting BF.
They were absolutely useless, and so I'm diverting that $3,000 a month into Facebook ads.
Sorry.
And I have concrete data on Facebook ads to show their effectiveness. I've got my cost per lead down really well in that. And so, ironically, the guy that I was just talking about his wife and the furnace repair, that's who was just calling me.
Oh, shit.
So I've got really good concrete data on how cheap Facebook leads are. As far as like how much I spend versus how many leads I get. And what I call a lead is not a phone call into the company. What I call a lead is a call on my board to run. I don't consider those time wasters that are just drunk dialing to in responding to your ads. I don't call those leads. Well, that's just wasted fluff.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm thinking about remodeling my bath, bro, and it's 10 o'clock and I've had some beers and
yeah,
that's not a lead. That's a phone call.
It's a project I'm doing in 2 years. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, exactly.
So as soon as I move out of my mom's basement, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
That's not a lead.
Yeah, when it's and I had never. This was like something I learned. Mitch and I talked about this last week. He doesn't consider it a lead until it's on the board. Lots of people don't do that.
No, I'm really rare in that, and it might not. I'll be 100% honest. It might not be the fair way to analyze it.
The fuck it ain't.
I mean, I have.
It's more realistic. I'm jumping in. It's more realistic that I actually got a call to go on than a bunch of people that are just calling to see what the price is or to see what those are genuine leads.
Yeah.
Those are not just waste of time calls.
If you hire
100% difference.
If you hire a marketing agency and they plop onto your desk a lot of ugly, scary, alien looking leads that aren't your ideal customer, but they're trying to call them leads, that's a problem.
That's a 100% problem.
Right.
And when you had said that to me and we kind of had talked about it a little bit, I mean, I shouldn't say I was blown away. I wasn't blown away, but I thought, man, that is such a better way to look at it.
Yeah.
And the real problem is you have to do that. Like that takes your boots, quote unquote, on the ground in the office.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I have to break this down and say, hey, these leads came in. I had 50 leads from this, but only one ended up on my board.
Right.
And I spent half the money for this, and I only had 5, but 3 ended up on my board.
Right.
Those are the ones that you want.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you have to focus your money at. And that's what takes a lot of time to break down and decide, okay, where do I want to spend my money at on advertising?
Another little bit of knowledge will drop on you here. If you haven't hired a digital marketing agency yet, before you do, and this is an absolute must.
Don't do it.
What we want to see you do is we want to see you go through your CRM, whether it's Field Pulse, Service Fusion, Jobber, House Call Pro, doesn't matter, Service Titan, all of them, doesn't matter.
Then sign up for TradeWinds.
We want to see you go through your CRM, and we want to see you pull reports of how many Google leads you're getting each month and each quarter before you hire the digital marketing agency. And how, like, if your digital marketing agency is going to be running your Facebook ads, then you need to be pulling reports and figuring out how many leads you're getting through Facebook before you hire them. Because here's a major problem I have with digital marketing agencies. There's good ones and there's bad ones out there. They all run under the heading that it takes 6 months to see results. Meanwhile, it seems like a lot of them basically fuck you over for 6 months, knowing that they've got 6 months of cushion before you catch on to their game and they move on. Okay? And then when you start calling them and holding their feet to the fire and you start calling them out, then they start trying to claim all of your Google leads. Well, we brought you in 100 Google leads this month. Bullshit, because before I hired you, I was getting 70 on my own. So, all right, so you've newly started your company and you're trying to pinch pennies. However, you don't realize the biggest thing that's hurting you right now is not gathering all of your information into one spot and making it super efficient for you to use. So the answer is Field Pulse. It gets you off of paper tickets. It gets you off of all of that crazy office work at the end of the day and reconciling all that stuff. And it lets you organize everything with ease. It puts it all into the computer. It actually puts it all into the cloud. So it's not even putting it on your computer. And it lets you organize your customers. It lets you organize all of your service calls. Heck, it'll even route you to your service call. And the best part is, even after all of that, you'll probably realize about a 100% growth in your business just in the first year of using Field Pulse. So if you'd like to check out Field Pulse and see what great looks like, click on the link in the description of this show. Take all the money I'm spending you and you got me 30. You didn't get me 100. I got 70 on my own. You got me an additional 30. So that is, in a nutshell, anybody who's had a bad experience with digital marketing agencies, usually it transpires about like that. So it did in my case.
And like, I don't want to crush you. I don't. I love you.
This is where David's going to say, I told you so.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that at all. But like, for those guys that are just starting out and think that they have marketing like under control, and they think that they like know all of the ins and outs of everything, and they're like, oh, I'm going to spend money and I'm going to get this, I'm going to get these leads, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. This is a great example of, I thought I knew what I was going to get and what I wanted and what I knew was going to happen, and it didn't happen. And well, I'm not crushing you, dude. I worry about people and guys, like even in our TradeWinds group, that think they have a really good grasp on marketing and then are taken advantage of by companies that are literally doing exactly what you just said they did.
Right.
Okay? It is very hard to quantify leads and sales when you're paying a marketing company to do it. You need to have a process in place before you do that so that you can track what's going on.
Yeah.
And that is extremely difficult to do. Even in your case now, even with what you've learned already, it's very hard to put that in place. And you may not have... I don't know if you would have had I don't know if you would have figured it out before without learning that mistake. Does that make sense?
Well, so here's the thing. Digital marketing agencies do need about 6 months to work, right? Search engine optimization takes about 6 months to actually show effectiveness.
Sometimes it does, yes.
So here's the problem with it is bad digital marketing agencies know that, and they know that we don't really have to show results for 6 months. And after 6 months, if they choose to leave, great. If we can slick talk our way into staying with them
for 7 or 8, then
great.
bonus. Yeah.
Right. But you won't see results month one. You won't see the type of results you're looking for. And that doesn't matter if you're the best agency, like you're with the best agency or the worst. And you won't really know what's the best, right? There's a lot of agencies that work really well for one person that bomb for another. There's a lot of agencies that swear, or there's a lot of home service contracts that swear by one agency that will cuss another. But meanwhile, there's another home service contractor that's doing the exact opposite. They're swearing by the one that the other one's cussing.
Yes.
And so you have to have the reason I say that is because you have to have these metrics in place so you know whether you should be praising them or whether you should be verifying what they're doing, right? It's a trust but verify scenario.
Right. And this is another one of those hard things to do as a business owner. But you have to, like, we talk about vetting accountants all the time, and we talk about vetting, bookkeepers, and we talk about vetting ad agencies. This is one of those places where you really need to probably try and vet them and talk to someone specifically in your area of expertise.
Yeah.
That you trust before you start dumping tons of money out.
And don't go. Again, it's easy to be fooled by a digital marketing agency in the first few months. There's a lot of flashing lights. There's a lot of mirrors. There's a lot of shiny objects. They're making changes. You haven't seen results yet, but you think change is good. And so don't like ask them for referrals, but ask them for a referral of somebody who's been with them for a year.
Well,
don't ask them for a referral of somebody who's been with them for 3 months.
I was thinking don't ask them for a referral at all and do a little of your own research and see if you can find someone that's using them independently and then ask them.
Yeah, you can do that too.
You know what I mean? And I say that because it's easy for people to have 2 or 3 companies that can pull the shades, quote unquote, over your eyes and say, hey, they're doing this, but it's not exactly what you're doing. Like, look it up. Try to find people that are using them and then ask them independently.
Right.
Or be in a group like Tradewinds or like Mitch is in Apex and find people that are using a company and then go with them. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have one in Tradewinds, I'll be honest. But in Apex, I'm sure there's I know it's a group for you that there aren't a lot of blue collar people in Apex.
Well, there's plenty. It's more blue collar people than anything else.
I thought it was more white collar people. But so in Apex, maybe you could ask, hey, who are you using for SEO?
Right.
And what is the experience like? The lazy thing is to not do the research and just pay someone.
Well, and so like what you just talked about with SEO. SEO is a completely different game if you're trying to sell a product nationally or globally than it is if you're trying to sell a product to 17 different zip codes.
Yeah, and that's why you have to find someone that's closer to in your area of expertise.
Yeah.
That, hey, oh, you're a plumbing company also. Who are you using?
Yeah.
You can't go to a company that's advertising nationally and say, hey, who are you using for your SEO? That's not going to work.
Yeah.
But you need to find someone that's, doing something close to what you're doing, and then ask them, who are you using?
Right.
How is it working out? Before you just start spending tons of money.
Right. Ultimately, it's a 24/7 experiment. And this is where you as an entrepreneur and you as a business owner, you will 100% guaranteed waste money in marketing. The goal is not to waste money. The goal is to stay so in tune with everything that you're able to recognize where you're wasting money and where you can divert funds. It's literally like this, the marketing side of the business is literally what changes the game for who is a very successful business owner and entrepreneur and who is not. And the reason I say it in the home services space anyway, and the reason I say that is if you've got a guy that's like, well, our company's not growing, but we're not spending any money on marketing, but I don't know why it's not growing. Well, it's because you're not spending money on marketing, right? And there is not a successful business owner out there who hasn't wasted money on marketing, right? If you're wasting money on marketing, that means you're trying. You're trying new things, and you're giving it enough time to work, and then when you don't see results, you cut it off fast, right? So
right.
There comes a time where you have to realize the bad investment and you have to cut it off and move on. And that's not just in marketing or business ownership, that's with anything, right? And so that happens with people, that happens with everything. And so you need to be pushing boundaries. You need to be trying things, right? I personally spent $21,000 on digital marketing in the form of digital TV commercials. And all they resulted in for me, they were more of a branding commercial that I was sold that they were going to help our Google LSA perform better. But basically I spent 21 grand on digital TV commercials, not including the cost to produce the commercials because we produced them in-house with Austin. They resulted in 2 calls into our company. Both calls canceled before we got there. So I spent $21,000 on 2 canceled calls.
Ouch.
It hurts, right?
Ouch.
However, now I know personally that the way we approached digital marketing in that area is a waste. You will never see me spend that money ever again. It's a whole different lesson than somebody saying, oh, don't do that, it's a total waste, right? Because then I just kind of have to take their word for it. I'm not saying we'll never do digital TV again. We might, but we have to approach it in a completely different angle. So I know exactly where the failures were in ours, but there is possibility that it may succeed in the future. It just depends on how we set the commercial up. So there will be failures. If you're a plumber, you're going to have solder leaks. It's just part of it, right? You can't define yourself as a plumber based off of a couple solder leaks. You can't define yourself as a business owner based off of a couple bad marketing decisions. I mean, shit, I've made a lot more bad marketing decisions than that. You go sponsor a youth football team thinking you're doing one for the greater good, and really you're just paying out money and you're not going to get any calls from that. Like, let's just be honest. When I go sponsor a youth football team, I know it's a donation to the team. It gets classified as a marketing expense because they put your logo on a banner.
First off, I'm not buying that because if your kid's on the team, every parent on that team is calling you first.
Yeah, my kids don't play ball, but I sponsor a team every year. But I don't look at it like it's an.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad idea. That means in your situation it's a bad idea.
Well,
like if your kid plays soccer and you sponsor the team, then everyone asks you, "Hey, what is it?" And then you say, "Hey, yeah, this is what we're doing. I just wanted to help out the team." Then half the parents call you when they have an issue.
Maybe.
That's a win.
Yeah.
When you sponsor a team and your kids are downstairs playing video games, yeah, that doesn't work. You know what? I have questions about your marketing scheme as of right now. Like, what are you doing? Mitch.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Come on, bro.
My kids don't play sports anymore, but I still sponsor a team every year. Right?
It's not helping you.
Sure it is. It doesn't. My kid doesn't have to play on the team for it to help me. Shit, my kid playing on the team might hurt me. My kid might be the kid sitting in the dugout or on the bench the whole time, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, fucking Smedley.
Yeah, but you're branding.
Can't hit a ball to save his life."
You sponsor a team every year.
Every year.
Then no, I'm just saying if you sponsor a team every year, Smedley's brand gets out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong.
So don't count it as a loss. Count it as I'm growing.
It's not a direct return.
I'm growing in my community.
Yeah.
It's an indirect return later.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing.
I mean,
don't make it sound like it's a fucking bad thing.
We're considering sponsoring the high school football team now.
You know what? Maybe, you know what? Sponsor my kids' fucking soccer team, dude.
Maybe.
Pay for the uniforms.
Maybe.
I'll put Smedley Plumbing on the back of it. I'll call KCSG and see if they'll let you do that.
Maybe we'll do the Void. Maybe we'll do Trade Wins.
Ooh, Trade Wins would be good.
Oh.
You know what? I just realized
maybe
I have the checkbook. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. She side note, so they every year in the spring, at the end of spring, they have you have to do your tryouts for the next year and they're off all summer. And then you play all next year. That's how they do it. So she just had her tryouts. So she made the team that she wanted. So
that's good.
She's super excited.
Yeah.
Yep. Got on a new team. So
go in there and rally them together and
moved up a level.
Make them win.
Man,
we'll get Dave crying in here on a podcast before we know it.
No, I'm good now.
It's the only time he's ever cried on the podcast.
Yeah.
Talking about his daughter rallying the team together.
Thinking about my mom after she died. You know it.
I know it. Yeah. I know it.
Hey, you know what? Should I work on some tears?
No. So we got 2 more things to hit here. We meant to get to the stories from the field earlier.
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
I'm going to do a stories from the field, but then I'm also going to talk about a guy who has flat changed the game in digital marketing.
All right.
So stories from the field. I got to pull it up on my
where's your phone
here. This comes from Andrew. Let me find it. Here we go.
Is this the garage door kid?
This is Andrew from State Line Door and Lift in Grain Valley, Missouri.
Listen, he sent this to us
a while ago.
A couple months, 2 or 3 months ago, and we just haven't got to it yet. So,
Yep.
Andrew, sorry, bro.
So
Get after it.
he's this is about 12 years prior. It says, I'm working on a garage door
This
maybe
sounds good.
12 years ago. The wife let me in, and she was really odd and super cheery and bubbly. She was really quick to leave me alone with the work, which was kind of odd. Well, while I'm working away on the garage door, the husband comes home, and he asks if I can move my car out of the driveway. And I explained to him that my van is in the street. I don't know whose car that is. And the silence was a tad eerie as he excused himself and he went on inside. I heard a muffled, loud yelling, and then all of a sudden, a young man came storming out of the house, throwing on his shirt and carrying his shoes. I can only imagine what the truth is, but the wife wasn't so cheery and bubbly when it came time to pay the bill.
I want to ask him, like,
Shout out to Andrew for breaking up
What?
marriages while opening garage doors.
I want to ask him, like, how old was she, and how old do you think the kid was?
I don't know.
How
But
old was the husband?
Sidebar,
I mean, was he just?
if you want some epic memes to copy, steal, and share for your business, you go follow State Line Door and Lift. Oh my gosh, the guy is a meme genius. It is hilarious what he comes up with. So, okay, so closing this whole marketing conversation out, we're going to close it out with a guy who has just flat changed the script in how to market. His name is Matt Rife. If you've heard of him, that means you spend time on social media. If you have not heard of him, you have no clue who he is. But he is a comedian. He's done a lot of small, tiny venues here and there. He's freaking hilarious. He is very attractive. He is very single. And his little shtick is women flock to go see him, and they bring him gifts. And then he
shit.
actually, like, off the cuff, ad-libs jokes about the gifts that the women bring him. Okay?
What are they?
He's really...
What are they taking him? Like, I need an example. Are they taking him panties? What are they taking him?
Well, where his whole thing started is he started on like TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and all of this kind of stuff, right? And they're just little 60 and 90-second clips. And one of his more popular ones is this smoking hot blonde chick. She's middle-aged. She's got kids.
What does middle-aged mean?
It means whatever you want it to mean. I'm not going to crucify myself here, but she's there with her sisters, and she gets him a gift that it's a T-shirt and a bag of cookies, and she made the cookies herself, and the T-shirt says, like, I came to Omaha for the barbecue and the blowjobs. Or something. I'm paraphrasing that, but that's basically what it says.
Are you making that up?
No, like that's a rough idea of what it says.
What does it matter to you?
So he starts talking with her and everything else, and then he tries the cookies, and they're freaking amazing. And then he starts like giving the crowd shit for letting this gorgeous middle-aged woman, like, she's single. How the fuck is she single? And like, she makes these bomb-ass cookies. She's obviously got humor. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's because men are scared.
And I mean, they're like in like Illinois or Nebraska or something.
Yeah,
He's
the
like,
guys are
"You
scared."
dudes are like missing out here.
Guys
right?
are scared. Yeah.
So,
Bunch of fucking
anyway,
pussies.
he's got tons of really viral reels and shorts and everything else. Well, he's not a mainstream comedian. Like, I have no doubt that he'll be on Rogan soon because he completely changed the game in marketing. He got really popular on TikTok, and he got really popular on Facebook and Instagram and everything else. And then in one day, he dropped his entire tour and ticket sales for the entire nation in one day. And he focused on tiny venues and multiple shows in tiny venues. He's committed like we're talking like 200 shows in a year. We're talking a lot. Sold out every single one of them in one day.
Talk about putting pressure on yourself. Like, hey, I'm not big and I can come up with some funny stuff. And now all of a sudden I have to have material for like a whole year.
Well, here's
like,
the thing.
Oh, shit.
So what do you have right now? For one, he sold out the shows, right?
Yeah.
But then you have the whole world talking about Matt Rife.
Yeah. You saw his brand went through the roof.
Through the roof.
Without having to do anything.
Right. Well, very clever word of mouth marketing. Very clever word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like he probably
That's a hybrid, right? That's a hybrid of Facebook versus word of mouth versus, hey, I'm selling tickets.
He probably paid a few videographers to sit in the stand in the crowds while this was going on, so he could get shots of him and shots of the
robbed iPhones.
Maybe.
But
then in one day sells out all of his venues, and now he has the entire nation crawling over tickets that they can't get.
I wonder if he had a publicist.
So one of the common memes that you're seeing right now is, and everyone's copied this and duplicated it, I can't get you Matt Rife tickets, but I can sell you a house. Or I can fix your garage door. Or I can replace your water heater.
I hate that.
Right?
I
and
hate
everybody's
that shit.
latching onto it and all this stuff.
I hate it.
And it's the way that anything goes. As soon as something
Of
becomes
course it
wildly
is.
popular,
Of
now
course it
everyone's
is,
going to
but I
share it
hate
as
it.
their own, right?
I hate it.
So, this guy completely flipped the script on that. Did freaking amazing with it. So, hats off to him for sure. I would love to go see him in person. My wife and I have watched him for a couple of months before he even released show tickets and everything else.
Your wife gets crushes real easy. You might be careful.
Now I know I can't get her front row seats for sure, but the guy's absolutely hilarious, and he completely understands the marketing game. Like he's got people talking about him that got tickets. He's got people talking about him that like I have no clue who Matt Rife is. And obviously, anybody who says that means they don't watch a lot of Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
First off, fuck you. I said that before the thing.
Yeah.
And I watch your Facebook all the time.
Well, you might not watch a lot of reels, short form videos.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
David's barely lucky to be on Facebook.
You know what? I'm making money, man.
I'm
I don't know what the fuck to tell
celebrating
you. I'm like working my ass off all the time.
You're doing a great job. I'm celebrating Dave.
Thanks, Austin.
No problem. I got to lift him up. Mitch was shooting him down.
Man, that's my man, Austin. Fuck you, Mitch.
I came in to save him.
There he is.
My only comment in this
Got brownie points.
I mean,
Helped him get his LLC instead of listening to the core episodes.
Yeah,
It's
listen to all
true.
9 episodes.
That's right. It's true. I got a lot of shit going on.
Don't we all?
No, my next big push is trade wins.
Yeah.
So just you fucking hold on to your butt, buddy.
Which, by the way, we have an in-person event that's open to the public coming up soon.
August 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Did we secure the dates?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Well, we can't really announce the dates until
It's
you
gonna be-
secure them.
Yes, the fuck I can't. If
So-
I gotta go to the Hilton Embassy and fucking like kiss ass, I will do it.
So we are going to be towards the central part of August, early to mid part of August. We're going to be holding an in-person event for Trade Winds. It's open to the public, so you guys get to see us, see Dave, see me, see everybody that's in Trade Winds.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in a lot of speakers that are going to be dropping a whole lot of knowledge for service-based businesses, trades-based businesses. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to shoot us an email at askmitch@mitchsmedley.com, and we can get you info on that when it's available. It should be available very soon.
Yeah.
So-
We're trying to get a rough number for our actual guys that are in trade wins, and then we'll have a number from that to expanding rooms after that, depending on everyone that signs up, and just trying to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row before we officially announce it. But I've been talking to the venue, so I mean, it's literally. We're on the edge of booking it right now. I mean, we are gonna be doing it, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. And I'm super excited.
I can speak from experience that
super
venues
excited.
don't mind tripling your guest count.
No, they don't. They do not. They do not, unless this actually happened to me one time. I went to Houston, Texas to go to a Goodman like tour of their factory and all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And they were going to have like I think it was just a little 3-hour Q&A. And they were like, oh, it's going to be at this place, blah, 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 blah. And then they had it, and it was booked for like 30 people, and there were like 130 people, and they had no more because all the other rooms were booked.
Standing room only.
So it was like...
That's Goodman's fault for overselling it, though.
Of course it is.
Once you reach capacity, you need to shut it off.
Of course it is. But sometimes you're like, the hotel, they're trying to say yes to everything, and there's a miscommunication, and then all of a sudden you turn around and there's 100 extra people, and you're looking around and you're going, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do here. So I'm just trying to... This will be our first event, so I'm trying to avoid like that trouble starting out of the gate.
It's always chaos on the first one.
I don't think it's going to be chaos.
First you get it done, then you get it done well.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. My wife's helping me, so it's probably going to be fucking perfect.
Oh, great.
She's a Nazi, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be I's dotted, T's crossed.
Fucking A it is.
Door handles the right way.
You walk in and you grab the handle with your left hand instead of your right, you're fucking kicked out. I mean, she is...
We each have a personal punch card with our sins. And if we touch the door...
Fucking damn right it is.
Punched.
She is...
I'm out.
I shouldn't say Nazi. She is...
Get kicked out of my own event.
She to be honest, I couldn't do it without her. So
No.
she's gonna help me. We're gonna book it. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see all the guys. I can't wait to see who shows up that's not even in a member.
Yep.
It's gonna be great.
It's going to be fun.
Wrap it up, Mitch, because we got a Zoom call in fucking 3 minutes and I still got to get home.
Well, that's it. So until next time, guys, we will see you later. Don't forget, share the show.